I really trusted that, you know, my son was in good hands, unfortunately.
At first, Jacqueline thought of Ron Gorman as a godsend. He was a volunteer wrestling coach with the Pope Junior Wrestling Program and had children the same age as her son.
You know, my initial reaction was, like, I was thankful for him because he was very available to give rides and bring him home, and you know, he was, from what I understood, a stay-at-home dad, so he had the time, and I had moved to East Cobb as a single mom. I was separated at the time, and so you know, he would bring him home from practice, and he would, you know, take him to dinner and help him with his homework and all those things, so I was, you know, initially grateful.
Jacqueline, whose last name is being withheld to protect her son, is an East Cobb mother who helped put Gorman behind bars for child sex abuse, years after first reporting him to Pope High School and local authorities.
Things had started to kind of pile up in terms of, you know, evidence that something wasn't right. You know, my son had talked about getting a groin massage and some other inappropriate things that happened, and he had come to me and asked me if he could go camping with Mr. Gorman for a week in the woods. And I told him that, you know, no, I wasn't comfortable, that I didn't think it was going to be a supervised event, and that that I was not going to allow him to go. And I remember a few minutes later I came back to check on him, and he had completely destroyed his bathroom. He had ripped his shower curtain down, he had slung everything off the counter, and he told me that he had called Ron and told him that my mom won't let me go camping with you because she thinks you're a child molester. And in that moment, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like, here's this guy who's already won the trust over the trust he had with me. Like, he trusts this guy more than me, and that was another telling moment that something was really wrong.
In August 2011, Jacqueline found an explicit message sent by Gorman to her 12-year-old son's Facebook account.
I think that was my aha moment, that it really was inappropriate and across the lines of what I was suspecting. I didn't know what I was supposed to do at the time, and I knew that wrestling was held at the high school, so I was, you know, I mean, it was probably not 30 minutes, I was in the principal's office at Pope High School with that message printed in my hands. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first thing that I said to him was that I wanted to talk to him about an inappropriate relationship that was going on with my child, between my child and a parent volunteer wrestling coach. And his immediate response to me was, did this man just move here from Pennsylvania, and does he have a son on the team? And so he identified him without saying his name. And he asked me if I would please not go to the police, that they would like to handle it internally. They said that they would look into it and that they would get back to me. I think it was that Tuesday they called me. They said they'd had a chance to call him in. They said that when they called Mr. Gorman in, that he admitted that it was him that sent the message, and his response or his excuse was that maybe he shouldn't talk to the boys like men, and that he would be careful going forward. And they told me that they asked him to step down as a parent volunteer for 1 year, and that he could come back the following year. And that was what they told me was the outcome of their investigation.
Even after he was barred from coaching the Pope Junior Wrestling Program, Gorman went on to be vice president of the Pope High Wrestling Booster Club and the director of wrestling at Life University. He also continued as a licensed coach with the Georgia Amateur Wrestling Association, where he was a board member. It wasn't until 2016, when Jacqueline met the mother of another alleged victim, that she realized something more had to be done.
It was hard. I remember seeing her break down with tears on my way up to her porch, and we hugged like we knew each other. We hugged like we could feel each other's pain. We had a lot of roller coaster of emotions, because I think that after that night and after sharing our stories, we felt very empowered. We felt like finally we've put the things together, you know, we've put the puzzle pieces together. We can now hand this to the law enforcement, and they have to do something. I remember going to work the next day and saying, he's getting arrested, they're gonna arrest him, there's no way they can't. Like, you know, this is it, we did it. And like it was like the wind was left out of our sails, because it wasn't happening and they didn't have enough. And I remember speaking to the Cherokee County cop and him telling me that that unless Ron Gorman came in and admitted to what he had done, that there was nothing more they could really do. And I just remember feeling like, how could this be? Like, I was told, that if there was someone else, then they had enough. And now there was someone else.
Jacqueline started posting on Facebook in Gorman's hometown in Pennsylvania and soon got the attention of Pennsylvania investigators who asked for her help. 6 months later, on March 3, 2017, Gorman was arrested in Cobb County. He would later plead guilty to abusing 2 Pennsylvania boys.
I wasn't even sure how I was supposed to feel, but certainly thankful to Mr. Knoll and their efforts, sad for the victims, excited that, all of our hard work had paid off, guilty for feeling excited, but at the same time validation. I felt like everybody that had labeled me crazy at that point, maybe now they'll see that I wasn't crazy, that this was real, and that there was a monster living among us.
Jacqueline fears there are other victims that have not come forward. She hopes Georgia will launch a thorough investigation and that increased awareness can prevent predators from targeting children.
I want to shed a light on all the people who enabled him to get away with it for as long as he did, because I truly believe that he would not have been able to do what he had done on his own, and that it was the enablers, the silencers, the people who didn't report, all of the people around him all played a part in allowing it to continue and allowing him to take victim after victim. My regret in all of this is that I didn't catch it soon enough.